Hello there! Ultraseven episode 3. I've just watched it and I'm going to watch Ultraman episode 22 right now. You're going to see that video before this one, of course. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that in a bit. Ultraseven episode 3 was pretty crazy. There was quite a lot of creatures in this. There was 2 alien pits. There was King and there was Miklas for a capsule. So a lot of creatures. Maybe they should add some more like a lion or something. Spice it up a bit. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed that. That was really fun. I think the best episode so far. Obviously, it's only been 3 episodes, and they've all been good to me. But for me, the best episode so far is episode 3. I really enjoyed it. So it starts off with an object falling from the sky, which is a UFO. Furuhashi and Dan are the ones that are sent to investigate it. The whole team wanted to go already. The whole team were like, yes, let's go. But he just sent Furuhashi and Dan because the rest were needed at the base. They went to the area, to like a lake, and they asked a fisherman for directions in Kiso Valley. I think I pronounced that wrong. I completely forgot, even though it said it in the show. I forgot how Kiso Valley is pronounced. But KSO, you know what it is. So there's a guy who's fishing, right? They're talking to the man about the area where the UFO is. And then this man is fishing, obviously, and he's using bait. And a random woman who's swimming in the lake, she goes and grabs the bait and the fish and she swims away. Then they chase her. And I was just like, what on earth is going on? Like, something is up here. She's not just some random, like, person just swimming. So something is going on here. So she gets to shore and then she talks to the fish about a mission. And I'm thinking like, okay, there's not an actual fish, is it? And I assume it was something to do with King, because King came from the water later, but the fish had some sort of like weird design to it. And she was talking to her about the mission. She was like, oh, that was close. I think she was saving the fish because the fisherman was going to catch the fish and it wasn't a regular fish. It was like to do with her. So she put it back into the lake, and I'm just like, yeah, she's definitely an alien. She's definitely an alien. So Furuhashi and Dan, they chase and they find the UFO, and they go in and they find the girl in there. And I love how Dan just goes investigative mode. He goes Batman mode. Very curious about what's going on. The world's greatest detective. He noticed like this woman, she outran them. She went very fast over uphill mountains, and she's not out of breath. She's just fine, breathing normally, and her shoes are not dirty. So he's just like, there must be something up here. There must be something up. And then there's this poison gas that comes in and knocks them all out, including the woman. And I'm just like, oh, I thought she was an alien. Why is she knocked out? But I think it turned out to be a trick, because when they get knocked out and then you see nothing, and then you see Alien Pit arrive in alien form, not in human form. And I'm just thinking to myself, no, that's just a girl. Like, that's the girl. She's transformed into an alien. Because you don't really see Alien Pit and her on the floor at the same time. You see all 3 of them. You see Dan, Furuhashi, and the girl knocked out on the floor. Then you see Alien Pit take Dan's transform device, so they knew that Dan was Ultraseven. So they took his device, Alien Pit took his device, and then gets out of there. And then it goes back to all 3 of them lying down. And I'm just like, yeah, I think she just transformed into the alien. But that actually wasn't what happened. But she was an alien, it's just that there were 2 Alien Pit. It took me way too long to realize there was 2 of them. It took me so long to realize that. I feel stupid now that it took me so long to figure out that there was 2 of them, but we got there in the end. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the girl's excuse for stealing the fish was she felt bad that humans were eating them, which you know, in some cases could make sense. I feel like in the real world someone would do that. Someone would go in the water and save fish from fishermen. Like there's definitely some sort of vegan who would do that. So maybe it's a good excuse, but it didn't work in this show. So yeah, Dan, obviously he finds out transform device is gone, so he tells Furuhashi, look after the girl. I'm gonna go and find. Well, he's not gonna say he's gonna find his device, but he's gonna go and look. So he goes on the hunt, and he goes completely dark, completely offline. He doesn't contact the base, his captain, or anyone. He just completely goes on his own on a solo mission, obviously because he needs to find his transform device, because he needs it really badly. So That's all happening, and they take the girl back to the base because she's knocked out and injured, or apparently she's injured. So at the base, she refuses to be helped, and I'm just like, what tricks is she playing? What's going on here? And she's acting like she's in pain, and I'm just like, nah, you're trying to confuse me, but I am very much convinced that you're an alien and you're there infiltrating the base. They've conveniently taken you to their base to be treated by Anne. She's up to something, and you realize that because obviously she tricks them into thinking she's feeling sad, bad, and she doesn't want to be touched or treated. So Jane and Farashi, they leave her alone, and then she's sleeping, and then when they go away, she opens eyes, she starts smiling. I'm just like, yeah, she's cunning. She's onto something cunning, and then. What confused... See, this is why, because I still hadn't figured out there was two of them. So what completely confused me is the girl went back to the UFO, but the girl was still lying at the base. And I didn't realize it. Even at this point, even though it's literally right in front of my eyes, I didn't realize it. I thought to myself, oh, so she can teleport herself, and she can double herself and then go somewhere else, because they both they're both the exact same human figure. They both copied the exact same human, so they look the same. And it took me too long to realize that they're two different characters. And I'm just like, wait, but she's at the base, but she's there. What? She is overpowered. She's running up hills so fast, triple the speed of humans, and she's in two places at once. She's that fast, eh? What's going on? Like, that was my reaction, because I thought to myself, how is she there and there? We have seen aliens like that in Ultraman shows, but I was still flabbergasted by this. Anyway, the girl on the UFO ship, she uses the controls or whatever. She calls King from the ship. It seems like the only way to call King is from that ship. So she calls King. King comes out the water, and that's why I thought, okay, that fish earlier makes a little bit more sense now. Why she saved that fish. It's something to do with King. King comes out. Was this the first time they used King? He must have been in the Ultraman Hayata. I can't remember. But I don't know if this was the first King or not. I don't think it was. It must have been in a different episode before. But obviously first time in Ultraseven. King looks cool as ever. He always looks like a cool monster, to be fair. The design is very unique, whoever designed it. Because it still has, like, you can use King right now in a modern show, and it's still going to look great. You know, it's always great when a monster can go over different generations and shows and still be like an iconic kaiju. So yeah, it was cool to see King again, even if it is very dangerous. I'll get to the best part of the episode later on, because I was just like, oh my days. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So Dan calls in another capsule monster. It wasn't I was going to say Sevenger. What was the other one called? You know who I'm talking about, the robot thing. Right, he didn't call that thing in. I can't believe I forgot the name. It's been used in Mebius. It's been used in Zed. These are my two favorite Ultraman shows, and I forgot the name of the thing. My mind is going elsewhere, but that's from a different episode anyway. It's not in this episode. Instead of calling that, he calls in Miklas, which is another capsule monster that's always in Ultraman Mebius. I remember that. I was just like, oh yeah, Miklas, he's back. It was nice to see that again, because obviously I love Mebius. And it's my favorite Ultraman show, so it was cool to see that. Obviously, a lot of elements from 7 were kind of inspired in Mebius. Mebius used a lot of inspiration from 7. I know about this, of course, and obviously there was involvement from 7 in the Mebius show as well. So obviously there's a really clear connection to the original shows from Mebius. But still, it was cool to see Miklas again. I thought that was... Because like, it's a bit weird, because I watched Mebius first, and this is from years before. So like normally for a normal person, they'd watch 7 first and then watch Mebius. They'd be like, oh, that's Miklas from 7. For me, it's just like, oh no, that's Miklas from the other show that came out years later. Because I'm watching shows in a weird order. It is what it is, but it was cool to see Miklas again. You get a scene of the alien girl attacking Jane. So the team goes to help Dan. They go to help the situation with King. They leave. So Anne is on her own, and Jane... Did I just say Jane? Where'd I get Jane from? Did I just give the alien girl a name that she doesn't even have? Where'd I get Jane from? I'm so confused now. Anyway, as I was saying, so Anne is attacked by the alien girl, the one who's at the base. Even at this point, honestly, I still didn't realize it was two different people. I was just, I don't know what I was thinking. I realized it like a couple minutes later, but I realized it eventually. Not right at the end, but before that I realized. Then I was just like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, Dan finally gets his device back. He goes to the UFO, he finds that alien goddess in the UFO. They fight and he finds the device. She puts up a big fight. Well, are the alien pit also female? Or are they just imitating females? I think they are actually female. But either way, like, yeah, Dan fights the human form and gets his device back. She did put up a very good fight though. The Ultra Hawk, so the Ultra Guard arrive with the Ultra Hawk. And they get shot down basically immediately by Ellie King. I was just like, oh my days. This is like Cosmos, except Cosmos, the TMIs actually last a bit longer. They last a bit longer, then they crash into a mountain, right? This one, the Ultra Guard just crashed straight away. I'm just like, at least do something, guys. Come on. what's going on? So then the other alien at the base escaped in a rocket as well, I think. And this is when I realized, after also Dan beat the other one in a fight, this is when I realized, okay, these are two different people. It took me that long to realize. There's like 5 minutes left in the episode, and I literally just realized that there's two of them, and it's not the same person. I feel so stupid now. I'm just like, that was like the most obvious thing ever. The most obvious thing ever. And also the scene earlier makes more sense when one girl is knocked out, or pretends to be knocked out, I guess, and the alien pit steals the device. They were two different people. She didn't transform into that. The other one did. That makes sense. that makes sense. And then you get the final fight scene. So he finally gets his device back. He gets into the battle. So when the Ultra Guard crash, they try and get past in a boat. And I'm just like, why are you paddling in a boat down a river? What's going on here? But yeah, they were trying to survive in a boat. Ellie King was shooting at them, throwing rocks at them. They couldn't do much, but Ultraseven to the rescue, of course, just in the nick of time. The end of it was so funny. Right, so the fight scene was cool, but the way Ultraseven kills Ellie King is just so funny. I didn't even mention, by the way, that he recalled Miklas. Miklas actually lasted quite long, which I was surprised by. But yeah, after he got his device back, he called back Miklas a while ago, but after he got his device back, you have this fun fight, and then at the end, the way he kills Ellie King. So first of all, he shoots his beam from his head. He shoots it at Ellie King's, antennas or horns or whatever. He shoots both of these sliced off after Ellie King tried to electrocute him and twist him into his tail. So he sliced those off with, he shot them off. Then he got Ice Slugger. He throws at Ellie King. It slices its tail off and it slices his head off. So the tail was cut off. These are cut off and it's beheaded. And then a lot of blood starts flowing out. I'm just like, this is brutality. This is brutality. They wouldn't show this if this type of death was done to a human. They would never put it in the show. They just blur it out or censor it or whatever. But you can get away with it when it's a fictional monster. But I'm just like, what an awful way to die. And then, yeah, the blood starts flowing out. By this point, the monster's dead anyway. But then, to add even more dramatic effect, it explodes. Wait, ain't it already dead, guys? What did it explode from? Who exploded it? Like, this thing got chopped here, and at the tail, and started bleeding down like this, and then it just explodes on top of that. Like, it's already dead, and it's still dying. I was just like, how was it exploded too? You gotta, actually, to be fair, that's Ultraman. With Ultraman shows, when they defeat the kaiju, it normally explodes, no matter what the context. Even if it doesn't make sense, it probably will explode. That's just how the fights end. So it kind of makes sense. They just got to be like, you know what? We got to continue the tradition of enemies exploding when they die. So that's what that was. So at the end, you see the two alien pit. I obviously already realized they were two different people now, so it would have been funny if I just realized at that point. I'm just like, oh look, there's two of them. What's going on? But yeah, they had this conversation about reconquering Earth. Eleking's defeated. We will come back with a stronger monster. They're still talking to each other in human form. They're not transformed back to alien pit yet. We only saw that once early in the episode. Maybe that was for budget reasons. That would make sense. Unless it was like a makeup thing. I don't think. Maybe it was just computer effects. I don't know. You guys can tell me that. Obviously, with the big monsters, it's like guys in suits. But for the small human-sized aliens, I don't know. Maybe it works a bit differently. But it would also make sense for them to be people in suits. To be fair. It would also make sense. But yeah, they have this conversation. I'm just like, okay, I'm guessing they're going to come back in a future episode with a stronger kaiju. That's what I assumed anyway. Or there could be more alien pit, to be fair. And then one of the alien pits says, now we know that Earth has a weakness to cute girls. And based on watching Ultraman shows over the years, I can tell you that they are correct. That is true. Humans do have a weakness for that. So if there's aliens in real life, if they came to Earth in real life, all they'd have to do is disguise themselves as cute girls. And we might get conquered. That's a bit terrifying. But yeah, I thought that was going to be the end. But then 7, because I thought 7 flew away, but then 7 chased the UFO. I'm just like, oh, we got more action here. The UFO tries to shoot him. He gets past it, and he explodes the UFO. I'm assuming the alien pit just died like that. Unless they come back in maybe there's other alien pit characters. So that information they learned about cute girls, I guess only they knew, and they're dead now. So yeah, I guess no other alien knows that. So back to square one for all the alien invaders. But yeah, that was really cool. That was all I got on my notes and all I got to think of really, for what I can think of. My favorite part was the ending of the fight. The way he killed Eleking was very brutal. I also liked the scene where Dan was looking at her like, her shoes are not dirty. She ran up the mountain faster than us, and she's not out of breath. Something's up. I liked that scene because you could, like, he wasn't saying that with his mouth. He was just thinking that in his head, but we could hear his thoughts. And I'm just like, this guy is a top investigator. I like this. I like this sort of character. He seems to be a little different to other Ultramen. I mean, they're all different. They're all unique in their own way. But like sometimes, like some will have like a unique trait that others don't have as much of. Maybe not as strong in. And this guy seems to be very good at investigating stuff. And it reminds me of Batman. Batman's a favorite fictional characters. Batman is my favorite fictional character. I've said the complete sentence wrong. And one of the things Batman is known for is investigating. Like he knows, he's one of his nicknames is the world's greatest detective because it's hard to explain, but it's not hard to explain. But he knows what to investigate, and sometimes, like, I've played Batman games, and I've watched Batman films, especially the new one from 2022, where he's really investigating, and it's just really cool to see a mind like that really investigate a crime and finding clues, etc. So even though it was like a 1-minute scene, I still liked that scene from Dan. I'm just like, this reminds me of Batman. The way he's proper investigating everything. The way he knows something is not right. But yeah, that is it. That is my review, and I really enjoyed myself. So yeah, I don't know when the episode 4 review will be, but I'll try and get one out next week. It's just that I'm busy. I'm working a lot. I'll be busy until at least Christmas Eve, but I think I can try and fit another review in before then. But no guarantees right now. So if there's nothing next week, just know I'm busy. But yeah, there's always something I miss out on because I make videos for like 4 different channels, so there's always one channel that suffers. Like next week I might have to like focus on another channel, and then on this channel maybe a bit less. But yeah, we will get it. We will get more reviews in before the end of the year, but it might be like Christmas Eve around that time, or after Christmas Eve actually, because that's when I record it. But I'll try and get one in this week. I'll try, but no promises. No promises. But what I can also say is I've almost finished Cosmos. I've literally got the final trilogy left. Last 3 episodes. So I'll have a bit of time. I do want to start Ultra Galaxy Fight Ultra Galaxy Fight? Mega Monster Battle. Sorry, I want to start Mega Monster Battle. I think probably in January I'll start uploading it. It's just gonna be one per week. I've realized now, because I recently, the last few weeks, I've recorded Cosmos 2 every time I had time to record. I recorded 2 reactions at a time, and I realized how much time it was taking. I'm just like, okay, I now realize why I slowed down. I'm having like no time for anything else by reacting this much. So now I'm just like, okay, I gotta relax a bit so I can work on other content and still have some free time left over and go to work. So it's gonna be, after I finish Cosmos and after I finish editing that, it's gonna be back to one reaction per week. And then that also means I have more time for this. So yeah, at the moment though, still 1 episode per review, which I think you guys prefer anyway. I think you guys prefer that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you for the next one. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and goodbye. Sorry, I just looked at the screen, and the next episode title has Max in it. I got confused. I'm just like, Ultraman Max? That's a future show. Anyway, goodbye.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever